I think grit really means one thing. It is no matter what you are faced with, you are going to continue to persevere, you are continue to be determined and to keep going no matter what happens, because things are going to happen. And I think it changes as you get older. When you're younger, and I'm speaking for myself, I was always woe is me when something awful happened or you were faced with a challenge. It was woe is me, poor me. And I think as you age, you really kind of look at things a little bit differently. It's more, this has happened to me, and now what am I going to do to deal with it? So you're a little more practical, you have a little bit more of a plan, and perhaps you're more accustomed to that because you've had some things to deal with in your life. But I think you look at it differently. And so as a result, the grit that you develop continues to develop as you age. And so actually I feel fortunate. When I think about grit, I feel fortunate because I think it helps you develop and become a better person to face the challenges that you face in life. When I first started out, I had absolutely no idea what it took to run a business. The goal of why I started my business was to provide more flexibility for raising a family. And so I just started. I really didn't know what I was getting into. And 30 years later, I always call it an experiment that's never ended. I really had to have a lot of grit to keep going. Faced a recession. I faced a client that went bankrupt and didn't pay. I faced losing an anchor client in the face of that recession. I faced a computer that started smoking in my home. And sometimes you face a lot of these things and you feel like you're by yourself when you're an entrepreneur. And one of the things that I think I've learned over the years is you don't have to feel alone. You can reach out to people. And I think in the beginning you think you can stand on your own 2 feet. But it's a lot better if you end up having a network of folks that you can rely on. When you've been in business for 30 years, at about year 17, 18, I thought, I want to do something more specialized. I want to make some kind of a pivot, and I was very intentional about that. And in fact, I was looking for something. So I went to a conference, and I think it was about 2008 in New York, and heard a marvelous presentation by an international speechwriter and speech coach. And it was called 9 Steps to a Killer Speech. And I thought, wow, being a speechwriter is something that I could really do to pivot my business, which had focused primarily on marketing communications for the first 18 or so years. And so I decided pretty much after that conference to invest in myself. And that meant putting some money for some specialized training in speech writing and speech coaching. That meant flying to Philadelphia for some very specialized training that spanned probably a 3 to 4 year time frame. But I made that decision to really make that investment and make that pivot, which was kind of gritty, because I had a fine business. I had lots of repeat clients, so I was good. But again, this whole growth idea, I wasn't satisfied doing some of the same things I had done for that time. And that has really paid off for my business. It is the favorite thing that I do in my business, and from a value standpoint, bringing value to people is important to me, and I really feel like that aspect of my business brings a lot of executives value. If there's something that you want to do, focus on one thing and get gritty about that one thing, whatever that is. And again, that whole piece about reaching out for others. You don't have to do things by yourself. It doesn't make you less gritty. It's been a great experience, and I am thankful and blessed to know the women that I've known through the years.